That is what I see every day I turn on my car. And that is something that I want you guys to remember for this channel. How's it going, you guys? So today it's gonna be another episode, or shall I say the second episode of our chill drives and convos. So today is actually gonna be a very interesting topic, which is why I showed you guys what my pop-up message is all the time, because I feel like this topic is something that a lot of people should be open-minded about, something that is very debated on in the car community. So just a little heads up, I'm actually driving to my dentist right now to get my bottom braces in, so I felt like this is another opportunity for me to actually make another video because I have an hour drive, so might as well talk about something that can cause a lot of debating. So this topic is basically about fake parts versus real parts, or more so of replica parts versus real authentic parts. Okay, let's say there's 4 builds in the car community. There is the track build, there's the show build, then there's the daily stance build, and the daily function build. So within these builds, there are their respectable parts that a lot of people can say that they like to rep one certain type of company, or some people just like having more authentic parts. And that's where it gets into the debate on what's better, real parts or fake parts. Now, in my personal opinion, I'm a big advocate for real parts, real authentic parts. But there is a line where you can actually use a little bit of the replica parts and to save yourself a lot of money. Because let's be honest, a lot of us work on our cars because we love it, and sometimes there are parts that, okay, I get it, they're rare and they're cool to have, that makes them authentic. But in all honesty, you really can get away with the replica part. Let's take into consideration wheels, right? Everybody loves wheels. Everybody likes putting new wheels and rims on their car. So let's say you have a track build and you want to put some wheels on your car. Obviously, and more often than not, people will want to go with the real wheels, or more like the companies that actually make the wheels so that they last, whether it be Enki, Volk Racing, Raised Graham Lights, Spoon Sports, Work Emotions or Work Wheels. Those types of companies, Advan, they make wheels specifically, or I wouldn't say specifically, but they make wheels that will last, and they're tested to last on a track, right? Then you have the replica wheels, which are rotas. I think, in my opinion, rotas are replicas, but I've heard, honestly, this goes on both sides. I've heard that rotas are really strong, so you can say what you want about rotas. I think they're replicas, but in all honesty, if they work, they work. XXRs, ESRs, Ad Hoens, those types of wheels, I believe, are rep wheels. There's a lot that goes into wheels, but in my opinion, or in my personal taste, I like authentic wheels, just because it's the thing that touches the ground alongside with your tires. So if I had a authentic wheel, I would just feel more safe, and that's my personal opinion. There are a lot of people there that rock replica wheels, and I'm not hating on them. Honestly, some replica wheels look hella nice, and they have offsets that are way better than authentic wheels. Obviously, they're gonna cost a lot less, so I can see why people like replica wheels, which is perfectly fine. I would definitely rock replica wheels if I was really tight on a budget, and if I just really needed a new set of wheels. But in my opinion, I would just save a little bit more extra just so that I can get the authentic part. In my opinion, if you like authentic parts on your daily driver, then I would say, yeah, go for it. Authentic parts on a daily driver is, one, going to be a little bit more reliable than replica parts, but I can't really say that for a lot of the replica parts because I've never really tested them out. But from what I've seen, they don't last a lot longer because they don't have as much detail into their craftsmanship, and a lot of the materials that they use are sometimes not that great in comparison to the authentic part. Let's take my car for example. Now for me, I could have honestly saved up for the authentic HFP front lip kit, but I didn't. I bought a replica off Craigslist at a shop, and I painted it myself and learned how to paint it myself and try to see paint matching. And honestly, it's good. Like, you can, body parts, I feel like they're fine. Just as long as like they're not fiberglass that can break easily. If they're plastic, ABS plastic, totally fine, dude. You can rock a replica part. Like, that shouldn't really matter to anybody because you can honestly just paint match it and it'll look exactly the same. Yeah, it may not have the little branding inside saying that it's made from Honda or the little part number, but if they look the same and if it's like a body part, then by all means go for it. I eventually did end up buying a authentic HFP front lip as well as the side skirts as you saw in my previous video, but that's just me because I found a good deal on them and I was like, why not? Because the front lip looked like shit, and with the new with the used HFP OEM lip, it actually looks good with the paint match and everything. The second thing that's a replica on my car is actually the H emblems, which is the JDM red Honda emblems, right? Password JDM, it costs $200 for 2 emblems. And as opposed to my front and rear emblems, which only cost me $60. They look exactly the same. They're both look like mirrors because I know there's some red H emblems that aren't really reflective, but they're reflective on mine. $60 on Amazon for front and back. So why not just spend the $60 instead of $200 and use the $140 for another mod, which ultimately went into my hybrid racing cold air intake that actually means something in terms of power or what I want for the car, right? That's another thing. When it comes to power, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I feel like with power, you can't cheap out on it. Yes, there are some times where you can cheap out on like little things with power, such as like what intake you want to run, what exhaust you want to run. But if you really want the most power out of your car, you will go to the top name brands that provide the part for your car to make the most power. Let's take an intake for example. InGen makes an intake for practically any and every car you could think of, as well as AEM. Those brands are a universal brand in my opinion that make basically parts for every car, right? Especially their intakes. Yes, it might provide you with a little bit more power. Yes, it will give you the sound that you want. But if you want the most power, especially out of your 8th gen Civic, I recommend staying with the brands that actually are for the car, you know what I mean? Such as K-Tune. They make parts for basically a lot of the Hondas. Hybrid Racing, they make that 3.5 inch cold air intake that I got. Rick-Spec, I know they make parts for other cars, but they also specialize in intakes as well. Now, one of the things I actually really hate about replica parts, and if you do this, by all means go for it, but I just don't like it, is when you try to pull it off as an authentic part, or when you try to like let people know or try to think that you have an authentic part. Let's take for example Rodas and Volk Rays. They're 6-spoke rim, super famous TE37s and the Rota grids. A lot of people like to put the Volk Racing stickers on their Rota grids and try to play them off as Volk wheels when they're actually just Rotas with stickers on them. Now, if you do that, go for it, but just let everybody know that it's Rota grids and that you just put Volk stickers on it, because honestly, like, you trying to flaunt that you bought expensive wheels for like a fourth of the fraction of how much they actually cost and try to play them off that you spent that much money on those wheels, like, you know, have some respect for your build and have some respect for the companies that actually make parts to withstand the beatings that people do to their cars, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, honestly, it's all about your budget. Whether you want to track the car, whether you want to build a show car, a good daily driver, basically that stuff, it's all in budget. That's why the car community is pretty fucked up right now, and that's because people bag on each other for having replica parts and bag on each other for spending so much money on the authentic part when they can just get a replica part. There's always two sides to this story, and for me, I'm just an advocate for real authentic parts, but there are parts that you can get that will be sufficient enough to be replica. I know other car YouTubers have touched on this topic, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents to you guys that at the end of the day, it's not even your car, you know? Like, it's their car, they want to build it how they want, and that's totally fine. That's what's cool about being in the car community too, is that you can express yourself in your own way with your car rather than trying to follow everybody else. Now, it's cool to get inspiration from everybody else, and it's cool that everybody is like always wanting to help each other out. That's the cool thing about the car community. But what really sucks is that when people bag on each other for having the car the way they want. That's basically my insight on real parts versus fake parts. You can get real parts, you can get fake parts, but at the end of the day, man, it's your build. You do what you want to your car. I always read the comments that you guys put down on like what cars you have, and especially on my plastic dip video. That video got like a lot more views than any of my other videos, which is cool. Like I was able to like show people how to use that type of plastic dip. I read all you guys' comments, honestly. I read them. I may suck at replying to them because I'm in school right now and my car's super dirty, which is why I haven't really been making videos, because when my car's dirty, that means I've been busy doing every other thing that I need to for school, which is why I don't make a lot of videos right now. So I appreciate you guys for staying with me. And another crazy part is that I'm already at 1,300 subscribers, which is freaking amazing, because I started this like 2 months ago, and in that 2 month span, I've gained like 400 subs, which is really cool. My channel's growing fast enough for me. Like I'm content. Every time like I check my subscription, like my little subscription thing, the number's always going up, so that's also a really big plus. It used to go down before I started uploading more consistently than I do now, and now that like I'm trying to get into the groove of things and trying to get my finals situated in the books, literally I want to be making more content for you guys, especially since summer is coming up. I have a whole list of things that I want to do for the car. I still have to make the video for installing the rear camber arms. I still need to do that. I still need to make a video for installing the header, because I've been putting off the header until like June 1st, because that's when I'm completely done with school, move back to Antioch, so that's going to be another good video to put out. I just really want to say thank you guys for watching me, sticking with me. I know I don't upload consistently, but I'm going to try to make a schedule for the summer where I upload on certain days so that you guys can like watch and expect the video from me, and if I don't, you guys can hold me to it. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. It really does help bring in more views for the channel. With more views, I'll be able to make more content, but regardless, I'll still make more content anyways, because this car, I have like 2 builds going on, and like I have to make sure that I get both of them done so that you guys can see the process, which is going to be really cool. And I like creating videos, it's fun, and editing them. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, or if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. Sorry that I'm not a crazy YouTuber that uploads every single day like a lot of these car YouTubers do. I am in school, so I'm trying to get everything done. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for sticking with me. And remember, stay humble and build your car the way you want to build it. So until next time, catch you guys later. Peace.